Hey, Steve Zook here. Good morning. Welcome back to Poke Sue Channel and the Guitar Ladder System. If you really want to make a quantum leap, don't even overthink it. Just go to stevezookguitars.com, invest the $199. You're going to get over 200 studies. I don't send them all at once. You'll learn the 10 different systems of improvisation in a very organic fashion. I feed the subconscious mind. I feed the musical ear. It seeds the subconscious musical mind. It really works, folks. I offer a full year guarantee for new customers. Try it for a year. If you don't agree that you've really made a lot of progress, I'll refund you money. Anyway, hey, I'm showing this guitar. I bought this guitar more for myself, which is often the case. Now, this guitar says 5022. Usually the 5022 guitars by Alvarez and made in Japan are mahogany back and sides. And the 5023 is rosewood back and sides. This one, though, is made in Korea. I don't see any difference in quality. In fact, it sounds better than a lot of the ones made in Japan that I've played. It's made in Korea. It's got the kind of the, I don't know, the little bird thing on the 12th fret. But this one, I bought this for a couple reasons. For one thing, it just sounded unbelievable. I couldn't resist it. The top has got lots of the soaking patterns, the little patterns that go across like this. Whenever you see a top like that, that's a rare top. It's got a lot of tone. The rosewood back makes it sound unbelievable. It does have some dip in the top. The top is kind of dipping down here. That happens with older guitars, and sometimes just, but it doesn't really bother me. I had my luthier look at it. He said I wouldn't worry about it. There's a little place in the saddle here where there's a little bit of a crack. You could replace the saddle. It's funny because sometimes the best sounding guitars have a couple little issues. I don't really care if they sound unbelievable. Listen to this sound. It's also got a pickup. It's got a mellow sounding pickup. Kind of reminds me of an old Baggs pickup before he made it big. But this guitar just sounds unbelievable. It's got some buzzing notes here on the 11th fret. Now I took one note here on the 11th fret and just sanded a fret above, and it got like 65% better. So I think somebody could just sand a couple frets here. Like I said, there's a buzzing note here in the 12th. There's a few buzzing notes on the 11th and 12th, but I kind of work around them, and it's not on the E or the B string, and it's not on every note. But anyway, like I said, I did a little bit of sanding of the fret above, and it made this note like a million times better. But this guitar just sounds unbelievable. Might need a little setup work, but it just has such a beautiful sound. It kind of reminds me of a great Alvarez Yairi meets. It's got some just beautiful kind of Martin type sound. I own a lot of guitars, folks, and I've been playing exclusively this guitar, and I didn't even have it listed for sale, but somebody sent me a message off one of the sites, I forget, might be Reverb, were asking if I had one like this with this kind of bird inlay. But this is one of the best sounding Alvarez's I've ever had. I didn't buy this to resell. I just bought it because it's so resonant and just has, like I said, a ton of Martin in the sound, vintage Martin from like the 50s, meets like that kind of great Alvarez, made in Japan or Korea tone. But yeah, this one has the rosewood back, which I actually prefer. I've had some great 5022s and they sound great, but they're all different too. Some of them sound really good and some are kind of, they're all right, But yeah, this is kind of a rare bird. I've never had one of these. It's got the same label as the Made in Japan label, but it says Made in Korea. It could actually be made in Japan because sometimes labels are more indicative of where the guitar has been stored. It's hard to say. It doesn't really matter. I really know guitars, and this has the sound of more like the Made in Japan, but also a lot of the Made in Korea guitars are excellent too. So I'm not trying to sell you on that it's made in Japan. I'm just trying to communicate that it has that same level of quality and just tremendous silking patterns, these patterns that go across. I really love this guitar, and I've been writing on it. sounds tremendous. I really like it. It's one of those guitars that just inspires you when you play. You know, it just really hard to explain. You kind of get goosebumps, and it just kind of brings out a more magical, I don't know, you just seem to tune into ideas better. I know that sounds new agey as all hell, but I've been meditating for 37 years. I'm into that stuff. Like I said, I hadn't even thought about soloing this until somebody asked me that. I really love this guitar. You just needed to kind of have it dialed in a little bit. I mean, I'm thinking I'm probably going to do it myself if nobody buys it. I just love the sound of this guitar. This guitar sounds as good to me as any guitar I've owned, and I've owned guitars worth $30,000. I know that sounds like bullshit, but I'm actually not bullshitting. It just I really know tone, and this guitar just has a lot of magic, which is why I bought it. I just, you know, and the back is just gorgeous. That rosewood is old wood, probably old from like the 70s, and it really adds to the tone. It was probably air dried and kiln dried. Anyway, you can probably tell I love this guitar. You can just hear it's got that Martin old 50s D28 married to an old made in Japan Alvarez Yairi tone. That's a new part I recently thought of for a piece I'm working on. It just sounds so beautiful and it's good. Yeah, I really love this guitar. I'm using a solid state amp, and by the way, I barely have it on. I don't see how a guitar can sound better than this. I love this guitar, man. I really do. I got to think about whether I can let it go, and I'm not playing mind games. I bought this for myself. It has a few issues that could stand to be ironed out. I've been playing it as is and loving it, and but it just sounded so good. I had to buy it from this guy. I didn't get it at a garage sale price, but anyway, it just has such a good sound. I had to own it for a while. So kind of how it goes with me a lot, But it's got that old Martin 50s herringbone D28 married to an old, like I said, 60s or 70s made in Japan Yairi Alvarez tone. This guitar sounds unbelievable. Anyway, just thought I'd do a video. I've got a couple people express a little interest. Bye.